Welcome everyone to GUIVGCast Episode 1. Today we will be joined by Bahamate, who won the very first Oceania Regional of the Grassroots Circuit Tournament. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel to get all the updates of the channel. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome everyone to GUIVGC channel. I am GUIVGC, and today I'm joined by Bahamate, who is the winner of the Grand Route Circuit, the OC Regional, the first one, the very first one. First of all, congratulations to Bahamari. When you're watching this, you are going to be watching on YouTube. So make sure that you like, subscribe to the channel, share this podcast among your VGC friends. Let's get the channel growing. So, Bahamari, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where you're from? And how did you get into VGC?
Oh, hello, everyone. Well, first off, I'm Bahamate, or if for those in the local area, I'm just Matthew as well. Either or doesn't matter. I'm doing all right in terms of my how I started Fiji's. I've always kind of been interested in the whole doubles format ever since Pokemon Colosseum. I was always interested. I kind of dabbled into a few online things in Sword and Shield, and then eventually I actually started going to events at the start of last year, with my first event being the Oceania IC.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Did you play any other regionals on the last circuit? On the last year circuit?
Last circuit. So last year, I outside of the IC, I played in most of the regionals. So I played into the Sydney one. Then later in the year, because I didn't sadly get enough points for the Worlds that year. I did then play in the Brisbane regional, which I did quite okay in. And then the following of this year played in Melbourne and then Perth, which were mixed results.
No. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how we didn't see each other in Melbourne. Just stating this. There were a lot
Bro,
of people in there.
it was myself, and then that Melbourne one was weird because I was doing that, and then I also did the the global challenge that was happening at the
Ah,
same time.
yeah,
And
that was
my
stressful.
plan into that was like, okay, I'll take the regional seriously, and then with the global challenge, I just like did some hyper offense team, and like not too much thinking needed, just click buttons, hope for the best.
Yeah,
It was
love that,
okay.
love that.
Yes.
I think that's definitely one of the best strategies if you're planning to play global challenge, which is gonna be in 2 weeks time,
Yeah.
right? It's just click
Yes, there's
buttons.
a cup coming up next weekend.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
All right.
They're, they're enabling you to lock in teams tomorrow, and then the
Mm,
play is next weekend.
okay, I see. Uh,
Yeah.
the main thing we're here for today is to discuss about Bahama's team, which, as you can see on the screen, it's Volcarona, Rillaboom, Sinisha, Goldengo, Clefable, and Titar. How did you come up with those six? Because I've never seen those six together before anywhere.
A lot of trial and error. So with this team, I've after some initial fun things, I tried some Sterile Edge stuff. I'm like, it's fun, but with all this rain, like especially at the early of Reg H, with all this rain teams like really at the top, like before all the other compositions have been discovered, I thought, you know what, let's do a full Corona set because I could kind of bulk my way through it. I was looking around. I saw some other Folkerona sets going around, and I see, the interesting one that really clicked through. I tried it, and I was like, okay, I can see it is Clefable. Clefable being a
Yeah.
real, especially during the run, it became a real big key component more than I would think. It's in more than the one matchup than I thought.
Wow.
Um, in terms of the early of it, it's like I tried it in other tournaments. Like I was always flipping through like the last move slot on that one until I found one that I felt suited for overall. Um, Other members I tried, like the Rillaboom, like most of them, it was always Falcarona, Rillaboom, Clefable,
Yep.
and then it was trying to find things around it. I've just been always a personal fan favorite of Sinistra because it just keeps you topped up, it enables certain matchups,
It does.
and
It does.
it's just,
It just destroys Dozo by itself. It like
yes.
Senisha. If you have a bad matchup into Dozo, put a Senisha and play well. You are
I've
not going to lose.
realized this is for later, but I've realized things about the Dozo matchup that's I'm kind of happy. It was kind of bizarre, but weird that there weren't any Dozo players in this tournament, which I was kind of thankful for. So, but no, because I realized things. It's not just as simple as get Sinister in for the Dozo.
Fair enough.
But outside of that, I've been trying other things. Originally had the original version. I had like a Palafin Gallade because I thought, oh, Gallade is seemed at the time super good into Arcalodon,
It still
but
is
it was
really good
like
in Tartaladon.
yeah, but it was a bit iffy because there's a certain bird there that kind of claps back.
Yeah, developers
Um,
annoying.
yeah,
I
so
know
that it was like okay, but there was like not really. I saw the Gengar stuff. Like I saw the Gengar Tauros King Gambit versions, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm personally not a believer on the Tauros end. Like I
Really.
get it. I see why people use it for for what it does. I'm just not. I'm not. It's like I'm just not convinced, really. It's like
Fair.
kind of like outside of the glorious Mirror Herb Mouse 8 matchup, it feels kind of middling into literally everything else.
I
So
have
unless
no. Continue. Sorry, keep going.
no no,
Keep going.
I feel like if you already kind of have something for that matchup, I don't think Tauros is the play at
That makes
all.
sense. I do
That's
find
my
like
personal
it's
yeah.
not just good into specifically mouse. It is
Mouse 8,
super
no
good into
no
it because
yeah.
first you wave crashes, you just destroy the mouse and then you administrate the annihilate from there.
Yes.
Um, but I do find it's super good into King Gambit as well because at the moment you drop it in, you are forcing King Gambit to
Yes.
either stay in or Ada plus 2 CC, which it does not enjoy, even if the
Yes,
Terra is not a
yes.
weakness.
Although it seems like apes have also adapted to the whole Terra Water thing, so it doesn't matter which Tauros you bring. But
True.
I don't know obviously for other reasons. But outside of that, then the Tita has been the interesting one because as the meta has been evolving over around more team compositions are being discovered and such, the next big one being the whole Psy Spam Trick Room arrangements going on. And I
Okay.
was like, it's even the Whimsicott Typhlosion teams, like all those like
Mhm.
heavy hitting special attacking teams. I thought it was like Tyranitar kind of just tanks through it and doesn't care and does its own thing.
It does.
It does, and I was like, I'm not. It's not really a sand team, but it's just like it's just there, and it does its thing, and it just annoys them,
It
and it
does a lot.
worked really well. And then oh, that was like one of the big changes to the team. And during the run, it was just solid overall. Like it was doing a lot of work.
Hmm.
Um, Golden Go was just kind of Golden Go nearly felt like a slap on. Like it's just always good, and it's like a alternative version if I feel like Falcarona is not good enough to come in, and I still want like a setup option,
That makes
but it
sense.
still hits hard, right? Yeah, like some matchups is like way too bad for. It's rare, but it's like I feel like some things are really hard for Falcarona, so it's just like can Golden Go do it then? And it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's like, all right, just play around whatever it is and just set up and hope for the best.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
Golden Go also though did help massively as my way for the potential mouse apes in a
Okay.
way where my plan was like I could follow me nasty plot and then just let it rip the following turn, like knocking out the mouse, and then I've got enough redirection to disrupt the ape from doing what it wants.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I do see you opted for a metal cult item, and there are a lot. Can you
Yeah.
explain that a little bit better? Because the every time that I see, not every time, but the a majority of the time that I see metal called Dango, um,
Yeah.
it usually gets better if there is steel. So if you can, and like also what damage counts you were looking at battle code over more offensive items such as life orb or specs. I assume you wouldn't go specs because you want the ability to plot and protect, but why not
Yeah.
life orb instead?
At the time, it was just, I guess, how it all got set up, but it was just like I've used Metal Coat before, and with Metal Coat, what it allows me is like it gives you the two options of without wasting HP or anything, but it's more like you can let a make it rain rip. You can just do it off rip without a setup, so you can still get a chunk off. Or one that I've also realized, which was good, after you need at least a metal coat with a nasty plot to knock out most bulky mouses
Really
after. Yes, like
interesting.
if
Okay,
you do just a simple, like if you had no, I had checked this, if you don't have a boosting item with nasty, like with one nasty plot off, mouse can live. I think it does live, so it's like you really want to get rid of that mouse, otherwise it gets a bit out of hand
it does.
quickly.
It
So
does.
um I am experimenting with other things, but it's just like at that time it was like metal coat was just there, and I didn't really need the live fall because at the most part I thought I was mostly going to click make it rain for the most part anyway when I did have this thing out.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So uh obviously things can change as the meta evolves, but at the time I thought Metal Coat was good. Um this time around Golden Go got some usage. I didn't use it a too lot, but I'll explain that a bit later through some of the matchups that I went through.
Yeah, makes sense.
And one weird matchup that I did end up fixing up because, like, especially when getting up, like, I ended up trying other things, not the Sinister,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was getting heavily punished by Ursa Luna teams,
Ursaluna.
like,
Okay.
like, because especially some weird variants, some have done Terra Dragon, Ursa Luna, and with my squad that I had, it was just like a bit rough to go through if it got set up and going.
Okay.
So Sinister to me has always, or outside of being good, it's to me one of the hardest walls to Ursaluna.
It is.
Just because of its typing, you get to redirect both Facade and Headlong Rush, and you don't. With the rest of your team, you might or might not really care too much about the Earthquake because you can really strength zap it down
Plus, you also
and
have
protect with your
Rillaboom to
that as
up
well. But yeah,
the
a thing
damage.
you can do also is just strength stab it down and protect with your other mon so that the following earthquake does whatever.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Were there any and about Clefairy? Okay, why is there a Visitarian on Clefairy? Uh,
Okay.
a lot of people
Because
tend to go with different moves. I've seen skill swap running around sometimes.
I've seen T Wave. I
T
tried
wave.
Thunder Wave.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want the miss.
that's
But
fair enough.
I've had Thunder Wave miss on me way too many times for my liking. So that's one thing. But I found that I didn't really want to use Thunderwave because I have two mons that potentially burn things, which I would kind of rather have.
True.
Like I have a Matcha Gotcha with Sinister, and then Heatwave slash the flame body of Full Corona potentially, and I found I would find that status condition more valuable
Mm-hmm.
than the Thunderwave, and the misty terrain allows me not needing to use safety goggles for Clefable. Like
Interesting.
to help with, although I already have 3 immunities to spore per se. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is when you're having the Fulcorona out, and then there's the Amugas there, and if especially under the rain weather and such, sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
can't help the spore going on, like because you don't want to lose like your 2x boosts and such, but it's like sometimes you just have to cop that. But
Yeah.
that's when Mystery Terrain. really helps that. It also pseudo helps against Caledon's Draco Meteors when
That
those
is
come
true.
around.
That is true. It does have
Um,
the damage of Reiko.
the other one that helps, it's another double dip into the whole, like with the rogue match I was saying is the Ursa Luna, where thanks to Misty Terrain, Flame Orb doesn't go off, so you're less spooked of Ursa Luna itself.
That's true, because you don't have
And
to fear it clicking facade, which is
yes,
140 base power. It's only
yes,
70 base power, coming
it's
out 211 stats.
yeah, it's not, it's nuts.
It's way more
Um,
manageable.
oh yes, and yeah, it's fair. And then the other one is especially for it's very good against slow size spam when it's like the Hatterene versions and such because you just got manual control of the terrain.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
you instead of needing to switch Rillaboom in, I can just have Clefable do the job instead. They try to go for expanding force, but all of a sudden it becomes single target, not hard hitting anymore because it doesn't get the boost from the terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
interesting. The Titar side looks super standard. Low
yes.
kick is. I think if you're not running low kick on your Titar, you're doing something wrong. Low kick hits so much of the format that you need.
It hits the key, low kick hits the key targets is what I feel with it. It like it's most of the time it's knock off, knock off, knock off. Maybe the one rock slide. Terra Blast has come out where it's like when you're really going more all out,
Mm-hmm.
like when you're pulling a trigger, like you really want to knock out this thing, just go for that. And low kick is for like not that it happened opposing T-Tars, but it's like very good against King Gambits because all of a
Yeah.
sudden King Gambit can't. It, like King Gambit looks good, solid into the rest of the team until this T-Tars here. Like nah, nah, nah,
Not
get
low
back.
kick it.
Yeah, yeah,
Low kick.
exactly,
And like
exactly.
even if after Terra you're still taking like 70% of the low kick, which is a lot of
Still good,
damage. Because
and
that's
it's not
only a
like
hit wave away from
yeah,
that.
and it's not like they're doing much back, especially because most Gambits at the moment aren't doing Ironhead. So because it's
True.
double dark,
It's
it's
still double
like
dark,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's not doing much to Tito at all at that point. Even if they do get a boost off, it's like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Just going back real quick on the Condego. Why Terra Water?
Oh, water. So I think I was just after a. Oh, I did water because with the current team, I had no water mons. So
Mm-hmm.
part of me wanted at least, if I wanted at like, a pseudo way of having like a good water defensive typing, I can. It's
Okay,
just if I needed to, I needed to. It didn't really come up, but it was just like the option was there if I needed like a water type to take hits from things.
that makes sense. That makes sense. It is a good defensive Terra for Steel type.
Yes.
It has always been.
Yes, it's always been. Like otherwise I could have done, like dragon or other things depending, other I was always going to do a defensive option because I think most of the time I think, especially at the moment, people are more ready for the like just pure steel variant. So it's like they just need a pack of ground move, or they just like all the Glamoras and stuff, or they just click a fighting move into you anyway. Or the Firemons, like because there's a lot of because of the Typhlosions and other
Yeah.
Torkoals and such. Sometimes you just want that option because if you're steel, you're just cooked no matter what.
Yes, you are.
Right. But
For
I
sure.
learned stuff later anyway that I was like, oh, it didn't matter if I did Terra Water or not. It was kind of cooked to the Typhlosion anyway. So
Does it do that much into like bulky dangle still?
it's not like super bulky, but it was enough. Like in the sun eruption, just Terrifier eruption, it was like, yeah, nah, okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It has more
Yeah.
special attack than Torkoal, so it is gonna hit harder.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Uh, okay. I'm just looking through the OTS, and I see a Terra Dark on Sinistcha. Can you explain that just a little bit more?
uh so the Dark Sinister was honestly, it was mostly just in case it was against like to disrupt King Gambit's in case it kind of got out of hand. At least Pterodoc, because like I say, none of them are really running steel moves. So with the Dark, you can just rage powder them, especially because most were black classes.
Yeah.
And with Dark, you can also potentially fish for Mucha Gutcha burns. And you can kind of outwhittle them down for the most part. But it was mostly for that one match. Otherwise, from this format, I found Sinister's base typing is just a bit too good right now. Like as a standalone.
Yep.
Like that I found myself. I had other members that I would like carrying more.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't come up too much. And I guess the rare situation would be like, a taunt whimsical or something like that. But the other
Core
time
as
I
well
thought,
for Whimsicott
yeah,
come
the
out.
other thought about it is like I could use Sinister for the psychic matchups as well if needed as another dark type option.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the option was there. Not that it didn't come up much, but it was just like it was like just in case.
Better to prevent rather than
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
it's got to be ready for certain matchups, even if they don't show up.
Yeah, exactly. There are electric Lefebvre, something that has been popping up a lot as well. It just has a very good matchup into Ray, I assume.
Yeah, no, for me, electric caught on to my brain super early because I saw the Terror. I was like, I saw it, I got it, but I was also thinking, what resists steel? What resists What resists electric? Oh, electric. So it just weirdly works. Oh, it also resists flying. So
True.
the thing with it resists Pelipper's strong move as well as Caledon's two good moves in Electroshot and Flash Cannon. And because you're unaware, you're ignoring all the Caledon boosts going on.
And
So and honestly, in a way, you do not care if the Caledon eventually Draco Meteors, because then it's lost its boost. Your other mons can then set up safely and then continue on because that's the payoff. Obviously, it's like you go electric, you lose the fairy typing, so now you can get Draco Meteored, but cool because then I always think if they're Draco Meteoring that early or something, they're -2 or -1, whatever. It's like not doing too much else after that.
That makes sense because if you stop to think about it, every electric shot is like you first doing if you're not there electric on your Archdon, for example, the first one's
Yes.
gonna be technically a stab electric shot,
Yeah.
which is the same base power as a Draco Meteor. And then your second one's gonna be an adaptability electric shot. It is gonna be stronger than Draco Meteor.
It's very good. It's also had the sorry, go.
No, but I was just gonna say, if you have if you need to drop like Draco Meteor, these are like go electric shot into Draco Meteor, you already putting yourself at -1. You may not even be. I'm not sure how you read your clip table, but if the Draco Meteor, for example, doesn't kill, like electric shot into Draco Meteor just doesn't kill, you have to Draco again. So at that point you are at a -3. The opponent's partner is doing whatever it wants to.
Yes. Well, that's the thing.
And you have your own partner, but like developer often tries to go for like a tailwind turn 0, or it might switch out.
Yeah.
But the point is, your partner is doing something more that's gonna be doing like damage at the same time where the raid is trying to set up something, and then at the end they are -3 with their Chaladon. They have to switch out.
Yes. Well, that's been why the other interesting thing is, like, some people try to be the cheeky, bring in the Arcaladon so we get some stamina boost, and I'm like, cool, I'm unaware. but it's like unaware as well as some other ones don't really care about the body press too much outside of probably Tita, but then that's a whole other ball game altogether. But the other thing the thing with the Electric Terror that it also helped was more or less posing Golden Goes.
That is true.
Because of make it rains, and then it's like, I've now electric, especially if they get a nasty plot off. I'm like, I can Terror Electric, and then I'm still taking, whatever from Shadow Ball and Make It Rain, that it's like I can do whatever. And then that's when after the whole Draco Meteor thing, it's like, if I can get a Misty Terrain off, even Draco Meteor is now weakened. Because, as well as the status effect, Misty Terrain also weakens dragon moves. Kind of helps when I don't have any dragon moves myself, so
It does.
I get a lot more value out of that move. Like, the deeper the run I was getting, the more value I was getting out of Misty Terrain.
That's crazy.
It was insane move. It was such an insane move.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, I assume Mental Herb is mainly that for Taunt, Wink, Anchor, Whimsicott, and things
Yes.
like that.
So the Mental Herb. This is why I didn't want safety goggles, because the moment I tried safety goggles, I got punished immediately. I'm like, I'm going back to Mental Herb. It's for the taunt mouses.
Makes sense.
So this allows me to safely follow me, Nasty Plot, and then Make It Rain, follow me again.
Makes sense.
So this way, it guarantees you 2 follow me's against taunt users.
Yep. That is super good to begin with.
Yes. Because normally you want to stop follow me with taunt, and then they, Mouse Ace would love to do like taunt bulk up or something like that to set themselves up. But because of the Mental Herb, all of a sudden, Ape can't get its Rage Fist boost, and then it can't get, it won't be able to threaten the following turn either.
Yep.
Because I can just keep following the Drain Punch or Rage Fist bulk up boosted versions, and it's like, okay. That's why it's like, it was so interesting seeing how good Clefable is this regulation compared to Clefairy, which is kind of funny to think about.
It is
But
a little bit.
It's because there's so many boosting moved mons.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of setup mons. That's why, like Haze is super valuable and everything like that. It's like, Unaware is just that good as well. I'm sure there's some people with Skeledirge running around, but it's like, yeah, no, Clefable's just very solid. And even without much going, it's like Moonblast just chunks things. It's like, on the super effective things, it might potentially knock them out or, put them low enough. It's just for Sandstorm chip and everything. So it's just like, there's a lot. Clefable did a lot more than I give it credit for. Yeah, it's a very good mon. It's also the reason why I ended up with Volcarona. I stuck with Heatwave because of opposing redirective users, as well as this unaware, knowing this unaware mon is out and about. Like, the last thing you want is your boosted mons powered up moves only going into this unaware mon.
That makes sense.
With a spread move, yes, it has a chance to miss, but you also now can hit multiple targets instead of, getting walled.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because sometimes those few turns of being walled is enough for the partner mon to do what it's got to do.
Exactly, that makes sense. Because AV's taken Miracle Seed, did you find any trouble playing against Pelipper with a Miracle Seed Rillaboom?
So, with Rillaboom's been an interesting fella. So with the Pelipper matchup, I didn't mind it, only because I was faster than the modest version. So if I knew that Rillaboom was good, the issue was I was coming up. I was playing against a few timid ones, so it made Rillaboom a bit rougher. But in the end, Rillaboom really felt like it was mostly just in case for Basculegions. Because at least this way I could just, especially if it was like a Terra Water Basculegion, it could just kind of just tap it with a Grassy Glide and move on with its day.
Yeah.
The fake out pressure was good and all with Rillaboom. I did notice there were a lot more faster Rillabooms going on, so it ended up being awkward slowly as the tourney was going on. Like, it had use, it was just getting a bit. I did find as the tournament was going on, I was using Rillaboom, especially because I was getting more comfortable with the team. Rillaboom was getting used less and less for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Even into the psychic terrain matchups.
Right, there's no AV on the Rillaboom, so it does make a little bit worse into those matchups because it doesn't have the greatest depth, but once you put an Assault Vest in there, it
especially on Switch Gen. Yeah.
Plus you have T-Tar into those, which is
yes, exactly.
into those.
Oh no, Tita ate some things that had no business, but apparently it's just that good. So
That makes a lot of
yes,
sense. Okay. Um, I don't see anything else that looks like very either innovative or interesting to talk about. So I will move on
want
to
to go
your
through the
cut.
run?
Yeah, we'll just go with the run of the team because you went 4-1 and Swiss into the cut.
Yeah, I lost one during Swiss, and then just one mostly all the others.
Yeah. All right. So your round one was against a. Isn't that Diego?
Yeah, that was Diego.
Okay. Talk us through a little bit.
So when I looked it through his team sheet, I was just like, huh, this Earth Luna doesn't have protect and such. And then it just clicked on my head who this fella was, and I was like, huh, this
Uh.
may. Especially when I, in game, I see the tag, and I'm like, okay. It. The one thing I realized was Gallade not having wide guard or a dark move kind of thing. So and then I saw the Ursaluna, so I'm like, I'm definitely trying to bring Sinister in here at some point.
Mhm.
Um, Game one, he led Indeedee Gallade with Torkoal Ursaluna in the back. I think I tried. I think I did. Oh, it's hard to remember sometimes, but I think I just did
I know.
Tata. I just did Tata Clefable.
To talk about family, yeah, that
I think
makes
it
sense.
was it was either that or I did Folcarona. It's hard. It's been. I know it was like was it 2 days ago, but it's like basically I try to did I try to say? I just know that, because Clefable got taunted because I follow Mead
Mhm.
because I know there was a taunt going on, set up a trick
From
room,
Galade, yeah,
and
that
then
was
I
me.
real yeah, then I Clefable got knocked out. I then brought in Sinister, and then I was learning speed interactions that game where under Trick Room, my Sinister was faster than Gallade, which then
Interesting.
in turn made me realize Tyranitar was faster as well. Like,
Okay.
you know, because the Gallade's a, weird speed
It is
here.
80 base speed,
Yeah.
so he probably didn't have speed in minus speed in nature
Yes,
or
yes.
zero IVs on it, or the combination of that.
Yes, I think I was scared of the goth. It's been a bit, but I know I led Clef, and it kind of got wrecked a bit because I also realized, I was saying about the whole misty terrain stuff, but it's kind of hard when the Indeedee has the skill swap to kind of reset it.
That is true.
So,
That is sad.
so, so it's like a back and forth in that regard.
Hmm.
But I do remember I eventually just started clicking Moonblast into the Gallade slot because it was kind of a bit of a pseudo threat. Cause,
Yeah.
um, Torkoal came in both games, but it came in too late once I've already got everything set up and going.
Right.
Um, that said, Earth and Luna got absolutely denied by Sinister. Like everything I was saying about Sinister into Ursula, it worked so beautifully. The thing I had to watch out for with Sinister was the Armor Rouge that did come in both games. It was just no, it didn't. It came in the second game, just not the first one,
Okay.
because I did, yeah, because I wonder if he thought I wouldn't bring it, but I was like, I'm 100%. If I see Ursaluna, I'm bringing Sinister
Yeah.
because it's what it's there
Yeah, that
for the
makes a
most
lot of
part.
sense.
But it's like the fire mons that would threaten Ursaluna came in too late, so I was able to kind of just strength sap it down, and then eventually it swapped out to try reset Trick Room and such. But obviously, it's like it hits a point where I'm just kind of clicking through.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
sometimes in Super Size 10 there's just a point where they don't have enough resources to reset a trick room because you already have
Yes.
such a lot of
And
momentum.
yes, especially when seeing, obviously a lover of not using the protect move, it
Hmm.
becomes you can kind of just click the buttons yourself.
Yeah, you know there's no
Or as
a
well,
chance that
it
it's
becomes
toggle.
safer to also just protect yourself to stall out certain moves at certain times because you don't have to worry about their protects or anything like that as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I think that was just a solid. 2-0.
I mean, we
It's
can
hard
double
to. I
check
can't
here.
really see in here, so unless you
Uh,
can see here, but I don't think so.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't see here.
Yeah.
Uh, and you then, fun enough, you played against the person that beat me in the round one Swiss. When I load up the team, I'm like, a bit of my experiences here. I'm like, okay, I think I can do. I think this is completely fine. No, but for
Yes.
some reason, my team, the team that I played, it was the same team that I got second, but I dropped Vucarota for Goldango, and I dropped Ninetales for
Yeah.
Talonflame. God, I miss
Yeah.
Ninetales so much.
Yes. And then the next team was just the rain team. But this was annoying because was it was not leading like the Pelipper, so it was hard to get the so it was like Instant plus Arcalodon. It was an Amoongus plus Arcalodon. So I think I adjusted. I think I adjusted where I had to lead. Sometimes I decided to be greedy and lead or lead something like Rillaboom and then bring in the Clefable later to get
Yeah.
the follow me stuff going. But with the way it was lead, especially with the Samugas and such, I needed the Misty Terrain up earlier. Otherwise, it becomes annoying to play the dancing game
Spores.
um of the spores and all the other things going on at once. But because if Amoongus was it got led, you couldn't sleep and weather at the same time. So it was just like,
Yeah.
or you could, but you couldn't do. If you swapped, Amoongus that slot wasn't doing anything. So it was just like safe either way to do what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think game 3 there was no. I don't think any rain came. It was like the 4 balance of of the other side, like the 4. Still, yeah.
Like Among Us, Incineroar, King Gambit, and
Or
Caledon.
Game Gambit and Caledon. Yeah, I think those 4 ended up,
Mm-hmm.
if I recall. But yeah, I think Basque Legion did make an appearance, but it just kind of got slapped by Falcorona because I got like a speed thing. I got something going with Falcorona, and then I did have Sinister just to redirect it in case as well. So it was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
non-factor for the most part.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. The match I lost, the Falcorona mirror, funny
Ooh.
enough. I played poorly. No, that's my excuse. But because I was like, oh, man, I should do this. I didn't protect, nor did I Terrid, and because of that, I ate a meteor beam to the face with Volcarona. So that one went well.
Yeah, that's
Game
annoying.
2, yeah, and then game 2 stuff happened. I think was it a 2? I think it was either a 1-2 or 2. Either way, it was just like stuff happened in the matchup. It was just too rough
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah. Um. Then that like that when I that mirror match, I was like, man, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Things could have done better, but is what it is. Then I played against Rad, who I've played many times. He's also part of my local scene as well,
Oh,
so we've
okay.
played each other many few times.
I did play against
Um,
him as well,
yeah, I even
but
played him in one of the early.
this Flamingo, sorry, but this Flamingo here, man, what I'm on. That's all I'll
Yes,
say. What I'm on.
yeah. Well, funny enough, I was so happy when I saw there was Earth Luna teams because I felt like I was so prepared for them. Because we first each other before any first like the other Corona team I had before in one of the earlier Reg H online tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Been in that. But yeah, this one he did in the Swiss round anyway. He did not bring the P2 Ursaluna mode.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the Incineroar, Golden Go, and Moongus Flamigo
Yep.
against my stuff. Um, the Flamigo honestly didn't do a whole lot because it kind of got whittled. And thanks to Sandstorm, because it was running a Focus Sash,
Yep.
it just kept having its Focus Sash chipped off.
Broken. Yeah.
I had just had so much chip going on anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Go. So what did I game one? I can't remember if the first match in the series Swiss was a 2-1 or 2-0. But either way, I just remember it was like instant golden go lead. Uh I did Folk plus Clef because I think I was trying to get ready for the Amoonga slash P2 whatever
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But obviously I didn't see that. I was like, okay, this is a bit more awkward because Goldengo can kind of get set up more or less because there's a fake out going on here, most likely onto the Folcarona. I have to kind of get Clefable out of there into the Tita
Hmm.
just to kind of get things. It becomes a weird dancing game. I did win it, but it was just it got real close. It was like I was like it got to an instant Folcarona end game, and I was like I ended up, it was close enough where I lived on like 10 HP,
Wow.
like with just Volcarona. Yeah, so it was like down to the wire. I was having to hit heat waves. He was going for the flare blitzes and such. So
Hmm.
that game one got close. Um, it's made me then realize about what I should be doing is um I need, which I've learned, which was pretty useful as it went on. Tita plus Volcarona at the same time, like the big hitters at front,
Interesting.
because what this did allowed me was to pressure Golden Go and Incin with both bonds, so he could only fake out one of them, not both. So
Yep.
I could
Makes
then
sense.
either set up my Folk, or I get to get a knockoff off with Tita onto the Golden Go.
Yeah, and
So,
Golden is not a mon that enjoys taking
and
knockoffs. So.
no, and I know I recall this because I did this as well because in game one he was able to get a nasty plot set up, and he had life orb. My T-Tar wasn't living that hit,
Okay.
so it kind of fooled even with the San Navy. But when I led with the T-Tar, he could obviously get that KO off, so that's why T-Tar was more free to kind of go at it.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes
So
sense
and that
because
worked.
you just force a Terra there. You force them to fake out either of the mons, but like either of the mons are gonna do a lot of damage to Goldango.
Yes.
One because you get a knockoff, so you have to Terra your
Well,
Goldango, and the other one is just gonna click Quiver Downs, get pods, get boost, live even better
exactly.
your the Goldango
Exactly.
hits.
And then the thing I learned with that was also like if I get rid of this life orb, yeah, it's chipping himself, but I get rid of that damage amp as well. So
That is true.
especially because my squad is a bit more on the bulkier side, so having that less is pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, so that worked out well. Uh, then my last match. Oh, I would say the Flamingo was it kind of got it was in the field, but then it was threatening with the breakbirds and such. But honestly, it just folded to the Clefable, so it was just like cool. And then with the recoil moves and everything, it did not like the redirection that was happening.
Yeah, definitely. I can
It didn't
definitely.
like it wasn't happy with that at all.
Yeah, I can definitely
Um,
imagine that.
and now this matchup, well, my Swiss 5 round, this was annoying. I know this one for sure. 2-1 because it's for what I thought this was more of like the roulette leads,
Yeah,
what's coming out first.
the roulette,
Um,
the choo 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 stuff.
yes, exactly. Um, and I tried the goal because I was trying to prepare. I was trying to catch out the Mouse 8 lead. That kind of backfired game one. That was the Typhlosion Murkrow
Mm,
with Pelipper or Caledon. I nearly crawl it back, but it was like the Typhlosion and such already did so much work anyway. That was
yeah,
a bit rough. So I had to think what covered a bit of everything because Golden Go just kind of folds to the
that goes a bit.
Typhlosion side of life.
Yeah.
And because Pelipper Arc also was so Mouse 8 didn't come game one. Game two, they did the same thing, and this time though, I still led Clefable, but I also led T-Tar instead,
Right.
so that T-Tar could be there at the forefront to threaten the Typhlosion. and
Yeah.
Murkrow more or less with like Rock Slide or whatever.
Yeah, because
That
it's Fire, so you just click Rock Slide.
yes,
It probably just
yes, and
dies.
I also weirdly threatened because it had sunny days, so there was like there was a lot of weather going on in this
Yeah.
matchup. There was sun, there was sand, there was rain. All three were going on in different intervals. Um, so that one it was like I was able. I especially it's weird chunking the Typhlosion just because it gets into blaze range,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden its eruption is still hitting hard.
Yeah.
So even like when it's low in that spot, so it's a weird. It was a weird playing around that,
Wait, hold up.
but
I forgot how low you need to be to
you need to
trigger.
be like 33%, like a
KG, wait.
third.
Okay. 33%. That's right.
I think that's it anyway. You need to be like 30. I think it's 33, but it's like it says a third or something like that.
Yeah.
So either or. And then after that, I was like, okay, this works. I have to do the same lead because I have to. Um, also that all the follow me shenanigans Clefable
Yeah.
does. I do click that move a lot, which I kind of use to my advantage for game 3, where Mouse 8 did end up showing itself like at the front
Yeah.
with my Cheetah. Because normally I would want the Gongo, but obviously Gongo falls like paper to if Typhlosion shows up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Terra Blast, Flying Moonblast, not bother with the protecting. Like I assume, like he sees I've got the follow me. I'm gonna follow me
Mm-hmm.
the beat up stuff or whatever. He ends up following himself. So what ended up? Yeah. So the mouse it lived, but it took a chunk from both a Moonblast and Terra Blast flying. Like I actually just sent the Terra Blast flying,
Yeah.
which I wish I kind of went knockoff, but it worked out anyway.
That's fine.
Because I wish I had for the Spadef boost against the Typhlo. Um, so then on the second round, it did get a bulk up off on the 8, but what then happened was the following I was able to just then follow me and then hit the mouse and not like get rid of the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to, and because there was no more mouse, it couldn't really get a good rage fist off,
Yeah.
especially with the Clefable doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy to see Murkrow showed up on the on the bring in,
Mm-hmm.
because then it wasn't both Typhlosion and Annihilate at the same time. So
Yeah.
I kind of did just another double up. Yeah, because I was like, Rage Fist doesn't do a lot to me because it's not boosted, it's just bulk up boosted.
Yeah.
So
Bulk up
I
also 50
just,
base power. It's not gonna do much.
yeah, so I think I had doubled up. I'm pretty sure I doubled it. I either doubled up the mouse or I split targeted both the ape and the Murkrow because Moonblast just it really chunks Murkrow down.
Really?
So
Okay.
like it was just good. Although I think yeah, no, I think I did that because I didn't want. Or did I kill both? Because I didn't want both Rage. I didn't want both Tailwind and Sunny Day up if I could help it. So I was trying to avoid both as best I could. But either way, I think it didn't matter because I was able to get the sand back up anyway. I was able to get the ape knocked out. Then it ended up being a Typhlosion late end game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would. So it had 3 fire moves to pick from, like Eruption, Heat Wave, Flamethrower, and then the whatever
Flamethrower.
move. It's the signature move of Hisui Typhlosion. Um, I was kind of lucky that it ended up just going for the Flamethrower, probably wanting the consistency and not missing the Heat Wave.
Yeah.
But because of that, because I did have Falcarona, I was able to get a Falcarona boost off with a Follow
Okay.
Me.
That's really good.
Because I realized I needed to, I wanted a chunk Typhlosion, but not enough to put it, because I could have done another Quiver Dance boost, but I realized I don't want to knock it into Blaze range yet.
Yeah. Straight away to Blaze range.
So,
Yeah.
because the last thing I needed was Blaze, Flamethrower, uh, killing off my type Volcarona.
Yeah, makes sense.
So then I knew Fable was dead, gonna faint on sight. So it was like, follow me, you've done your job, good job. And then it was like bringing a Sinister, heal up with full Corona. It was like so hitting the heat waves while I'm getting my follow me users,
Hmm.
my redirection going. So it was a bit of a close one, but it was like worked out nicely.
That's good.
Yes.
And we'll
And then I was just ecstatic because I'm like, oh, I hit top cut. And
yeah,
then
yeah, you went for one that's cut. Yeah.
yes, it was interesting because my games were kind of going quite a bit. Like it
Hmm.
was quite long games. That most of my games I didn't really get much of a break in between. So it was
Yeah,
just like game after game after game. So it was just kind of going through the motions.
yeah, I do remember you were like on my life. It was like I was looking at the clock. It was like, oh yeah, you were always like one of the
The
last
last
matches, if
ones.
not the last match. I was like, yeah, so I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think it's just how it works for with my team comps at the moment. It's like it doesn't look like it's stally, but it ends up being stally. So it's like, okay, cool.
It just takes a while to build up like your momentum to get the wins.
Yes, yes. It's a lot of setting up.
And then
Um,
we head into top eight, which
yes.
we get this
Interesting matchups.
interesting balance team. It has like
That was an interesting and annoying team.
I can imagine because alone
But
items is sometimes can be pretty rough
oh,
for Titar.
I'm just saying, Ninetales never showed up.
Really
No.
interesting.
All three games was led with Magma Gastrodon.
Magma Gastrodon.
And trust me, that was a lot more annoying than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Um, this is when I kind of stopped using Rillaboom as well because I was like, oh, I don't know how much this overheat. I didn't give this overheat magma enough credit, but at the same time, I was like, oh, it's -2 now. Um, so game one, I did claw it, but this was when I also found the fraud allegations for Como, by the way. Um,
You okay?
uh,
So you okay? So I'm not alone by myself. Good to know.
yes, so game one, I led Volcarona and Rillaboom. There was Magma, Gastrodon. Gastrodon, all three games Terrored on site, so it didn't get Giga Drained. It was a Terra Poison Gastrodon.
Yeah,
The classic, Yawn, Earth Power stuff,
yeah.
more or less.
Dropping a spin for Muddy Water is an interesting picking here. Just saying.
Yes. And then, yeah, 'cause that safety goggles was why Sinistra was a bit weird as well. Um, it worked out, but the thing I had with this matchup, because there was the clear smog, so it was like playing around all these different boost stuff going on at
Hmm.
once. So what happened? Game one, I quivered. I think I was trying to do something cheeky with Rilla. I was trying to U-turn. It got because I was like, oh, maybe Magma tries to just clear smog my thingy or whatever. Now it just overheats on the Rillaboom as well. So Rillaboom goes down immediately turn one. So be it.
Okay.
Gastro goes for a yawn on my Volcarona, which is annoying, but I bring in Clefable, and I was like, I didn't really test this interaction. Time to learn it on the fly. This Misty Terrain does indeed block the second part of Yawn, even if Yawn first part connects.
It does. And if
Yeah,
there's visitor raid on the field, you can't yawn. Yawn won't
yeah,
connect.
yeah. So Clefable was able, so I was able to not to put my thing to sleep. I did protect that turn because I also did not want to get clear smogged at the same time.
Makes
So
sense.
after that, I was able to get some heat wave follow meves off because I didn't want the clear smog going on. Um, he ended up just after another clear smog attempt, which went to the
Clefable.
Clefable. He just went for the overheat on Clefable.
Hmm.
Although the gas or muddy waters were hitting a bit, I did end up tearing my fault, but at the same time as that terror brought in the Como, so then things got awkward on that. Yeah, got awkward on that end. Um, yeah, because I didn't bring Sinister this game because I thought there was too much that kind of spooked it,
Hmm.
like there was too much that it couldn't do much against. So I
Yeah.
was like, let's leave it. Um, So the combo is here now. I then didn't my thing die? I think it eventually did, or I swapped out either or.
Hmm.
No, I said it because I wanted to keep it in. Um, because my Folk was threatening enough, I was able just to get some heat waves off, to whittle the magma down and all that.
Hmm.
I had the T-Tar in. Um, Como knew it didn't have, especially because I had a Clefable threatening the Como, so
Yep.
it didn't have time to whichever one's the one that boosts all Omni boosts it.
Soul, I think.
Soul, yeah. So then it just went for the standard move. Hence, it got the +1 steal from the throat spray.
Hmm.
T-Tar without, well, with the sand and AV, it lived the aura sphere. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was able to get the hit
Wait,
off.
wait.
Yes,
Okay, okay, that's fraud then.
yes.
No way.
Yeah, no, no, it lived. It lived like 10% left kind of ordeal. Yeah, yeah. Uh, +1. Yeah, 75 to 91. It's, yeah, very guaranteed, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was so good. Como did not show up the next two games afterwards.
Makes sense. He couldn't even kill a Tatar.
Yeah, no, no, it was like this thing's worthless. And it was just whittling itself too hard that
Mhm.
because after like quiver boost, even the or scale, it wasn't really doing to a whole lot to Volcarona anyway.
Yeah, after he
So
got
it
like
was
plus
just
one, plus shoe speed efforts,
yeah.
like even though
And
super
then I
fast.
think there was a king gambit in the end. There was some dicey thing, but it was just a low kick to it, and that sealed that one.
Yeah.
Game two. Oh, this was yeah, okay. I know what happened. Game two, I tried Rillaboom Folk again, this time tearing the Rillaboom so I could at least get some hits off or U-turn or whatever. As the game went, it got drawn out in size. I ended up losing. I think it was more towards the King Gambit. Nothing much really happened with the. This was when I was really a bit more disappointed with the Rillaboom because it didn't do a whole lot for me,
Hmm.
especially because knowing that Rillaboom was faster as well. So I was like, okay, game three. This is when I brought back the Sinistra.
Right.
I left. I didn't bring Golden Go because I didn't think Golden Go was good into this team. So it was just like I brought Sinister back as another redirective user. It gives me the healing needed. Um,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
this time I just led Clef, Volcarona, got the Misty Terrain, and or I just followed me Quiver, did my thing, and then that was a lot more comfortable to play with.
Yeah.
And then like even if Volcarona got whittled, I got the redirection going. And then when I saw the safety goal, when I remind myself of the safety goals, I was like, oh, I guess I just have to click Machi Gotcha. I kind of did that. I think I also just brought in the T-Tar just so I was like, we'll get some hospitality value in here
Mhm.
somewhere. So it was just like, that was a bit more comfortable playing. It was really tough. Magma Gastro was a lot more annoying than I thought it would be, those two together, just because of how Overheat worked. Overheat just murking a lot of things. And
Yeah.
then that Yawn follow me, Yawn Clear Smog combo was just real annoying.
I can
I could,
imagine.
yeah, but it works out. Misty Terrain too good, so that's what I'm happy with, really. Oh, I think I remember. Uh, I think what really sealed that game three, like completely sealed it.
Hmm.
Both Rillaboom and also Rillaboom got burnt by a heat wave. Then
Okay.
King Gambit went to hit the. I think it knocked out the Volcarona, but it got flame bodied on. So it was just like, okay, that kind of like sealed it,
Yeah, because now
like guitar kind of stuff. So it was just like, yeah. Sometimes it happens, but it's like I
yeah,
felt like I was in a comfortable spot anyway, but it just kind of like sealed it.
it was just a nail in the coffin. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, basically.
okay, so no
Uh,
L19 was showing up. That is an interesting call in here. Not bringing the gifts because like that's my personal opinion here. Every time that I brought a team with all nine tails and I see sand, I just bring it. It's just too good. You set up fail. Yes, I know it doesn't have the pulse,
no,
like the whole pulse matchup because of rock slide and blah blah blah. But
I think
Veil
it's
into those teams is just really strong.
Yeah, I think the thing because T-Tar's just slower, it's always going to get the sand up first.
Hmm.
I think the issue becomes because I also have Fulgarona, I get to set up, and then it's too hard to bring the nine. I have so much that hits the nine tails as well.
That is true.
Like it's hard for it to get set up.
Hmm.
So it was like that's why I did Fulgar. Yeah, that's why I like tried the Rillaboom at first, but obviously the thing never showed up, and I was like, okay, we don't need to worry really.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and
Um,
your top
we got
four.
it interesting. It was like fast thigh spamish,
Yeah,
kind of fast. It's like fast. It's like mix. It was like mix of the rain team, but also mixed with the psychic side of things.
yeah. What was the
So,
code for beat up on Stamina or Charlodon? Just for starters.
pardon?
The beat up stuff on the
Oh yeah,
Archaludon.
no, I saw that, but I didn't care about that. Nor did the opportunity ever come up.
Interesting. Also, Cloak
Yeah,
Developer to allow with focus session with Scott. That's interesting.
yeah. So this matchup, I learned real quickly about Ursaluna's damage output because it was leftovers and not life orb, which made life a
Oh,
lot easier for me, especially for
wait.
Tyranitar.
Like I don't.
So,
I remember you showed me like a call or something like that. Like Earthbound just would not freaky KO or
oh no,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I was like, okay, and I know like with low kick, it's like 2 hit
Yeah.
on Ursaluna, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty good. But even then, it's like you can just knock things out. No, this matchup was actually super comfortable
Okay.
because because of all the special attacking and such,
Mhm.
I could actually just
Hold a second. Wait.
yeah.
This team doesn't have physical attackers.
Oh, that didn't occur to me either. But like Tyranitar just kind of ate through it.
Exactly. Like a Vichitar and Pokerona should just technically just eat the entire team alive.
Yes, and because I had the Clefable, I had the Clefable which had both the Psy terrain and sorry, Misty terrain to combat the terrain,
Hmm.
but also to stop Ocala. It was just like I just had a lot going for it in this matchup.
Hmm.
That and the Amaru, oh, he's trying to be cheeky. I remember it was like Whimsicott plus some, I think plus Indeed or whatever. It's bringing in Amaru just for the heat wave stuff or whatever. But I think I was just setting up regard because I have my other strat against Whimsicotts where I just I get a quiver dance off
Hmm.
and then I switch I do whatever with my other mon,
Hmm.
whether it's knockoff or whatever, switch out into Clefable, protecting Folk, and then I can just encore. Sorry, follow me the encore, so then I can just
Yes.
get a hit off with Volcarona.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm not. I'm never worried about Whimsicott
Hmm.
encores. It was interesting seeing Energy Ball over Moonblast. That was certainly a choice
Definitely. Uh,
on the Whimsicott.
I kind of see
Um,
why, but at the same time I
yeah, yeah,
disagree.
yeah, yeah. That's it. So this match, yeah, it was that matchup was a lot more comfortable to play with. Like that quarters was definitely a lot more stressful. This one was I didn't have to change too much on my plan. I think and this is when I was real comfortable with the four of Volcarona, Clefable, Tyranitar, and Sinister.
Yeah.
Those four together was just so comfortable that that I was able to I having that much redirection and passive healing is just so nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Because
and
you
then
switch in, you heal 25%. That's pretty much a citrus berry, and then you just
yes,
redirect, switch out, come back in later for
yes,
another citrus
yes, and
berry.
I was also able to change the weather because Tita was good. It was weirdly good. I'm able to change the weather off of the so Alcala could never get any um electro shots off really.
Okay.
And then I have Clefable for body press redirection and such if needed as well. I get rid of the assault there so that Volcarona can clean up or whatever.
Hmm.
It's just like, and yeah, because the Blood Moon wasn't life orb or like any sort of damage booster,
Hmm.
it kind of was whatever. Its damage output was kind of whatever.
It was.
I got it. You want the big chunks and then just keep stick on the field for longer. But it was just like, and there's a helping hand in DD, I guess. But it's just like
It's still
didn't
not
do too
enough.
much.
I don't think it's still enough
Yeah,
sometimes.
Amaru seemed spooky at first, but then it's just like, not really. It does yeah, no.
Yeah.
But this is when I was confused. I was confused in this. I was the only Tyranitar user this tournament because I haven't seen it. People have been picking up on it. Just no one this tournament used it at all.
Hold up. No.
But
Wait,
I'm
that's
the only.
true. Wow.
Hmm?
That is true. And the other Sinister as well, just for
Sinistra, I kind of figured because that's just more of a niche thing. But Tyranitar, I knew was picking up, but no one was using it.
yeah, that is effectively weird.
Was there any Garchoms? Because I know there's Garchomp Talonflames that were running around. I don't know if in this tournament. No, there's no Garchomp.
There's no Garchomp. There's
And
no
no one did
Garchomp.
the sand combo. Cool.
Only free Talon
Yeah.
Flames as well.
And then finals in the end, it's up against Rod again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew how he led in some of the games in the previous set, I kind of did the same thing.
Yep.
And then I was realizing to myself, if he led a Moongus against this lead, it becomes a bit more rough.
Mm-hmm.
So I mixed up my game too, just by leading Clefable Tyranitar instead.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out because it ended up being a Moongus Porygon 2.
Woo!
So I was like, okay, so the Ursaluna mode was coming in.
Mm-hmm. And you had Sinister,
And
I assume, so.
yes, there's always a Sinister involved in here. This time I had Volcarona in the back instead of the front.
Okay.
Because the first game just kind of went smooth for me because I knew how to kind of play the matchup a bit more now.
Yeah.
But with this wrench, that's the Trick Room mode, especially because this was because it was a Terra fighting Porygon 2.
Yeah.
So I had to be real careful with Tyranitar.
Yeah, because you don't want to randomly just see the Porygon through terrified.
Especially whenever it got a physical boost.
Ooh.
So it was like, okay.
Yeah.
No, so it's the other thing that made, I was even before, Rillaboom was kind of worthless in this matchup is because Amoonguss just kind of it has Covert Cloak, so there's no point trying to stop it.
True.
So the only way to stop it really was to Misty Terrain, and Misty Terrain in this matchup was so good because it stopped Amoonguss and it stopped Ursaluna's Flame Orb from going off.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I did knock off that Flame Orb, so it was never getting that boost. And with Sinister, I refused to click much of Gotcha because I never planned on giving it the boost it needed. Also because it did not have Earthquake, I could just easily say Rage Powder it.
True.
I did, however, have to be careful of Porygon 2's Ice Beam with a special attack boost into Sinister because it really chunks it hard. It doesn't kill it outright, but puts it low enough where a double up would take it out. So I had to be careful there. A funny turn did happen because I was looking at it even without the Flame Orb boost, Headlong Rush still kind of knocks out Tyranitar. So I was like, this turn, I'm just going to Terra Flying. I didn't have to Terra Blast. I think I was still doing knockoff or whatever at that move. At that same time, the Porygon went for the Terra Blast Fighting. It terrored at the same time. So I was just thinking to myself, this is just simply coincidental timing. When I saw that coming, we both had, the opportune thought of doing the move, but I was covering for Headlong Rush because Facade not boosted does whatever damage. Yeah. But it's actually funny seeing Facade with and without the Guts Flame Orb boost. It's like night and day. So it was just like, yeah. And then after that, it was kind of Ursaluna eventually goes down, and it's just like, yeah. That one kind of wrapped up because it was the Golden Go and Flamigo were left at home that match. So it was then after the Ursaluna went down, I had to deal with the trio, that weird balanced bulky trio of Instant Amoonguss Porygon. It eventually won, it whittled it down and all worked out.
It all worked
and then
out.
that was it. Yes. Like,
Um,
I
I
was ecstatic. First time I won anything, but at the same time, I could still have learnings from this in terms of I know things that I can adapt and change now with it.
That's good. That's always a positive thing.
Yes, especially considering it was real good practice considering what matchups were in this tournament and what matchups were missing from this tournament that
Mhm.
allows me to kind of feel out those pieces needed.
I see. I see. Are you
So
planning to keep going and play more of those grand grassroots circuits?
possibly I might do more if more show up
Yeah.
because it's pretty good.
hmm
I mean, why not? I've got whatever the 20 points are for the grassroots so far. So I see you need 40 to get to the. So I may as well just play it whenever they show up.
hmm they do have a page over here.
Yes,
Where
but
is
yeah,
it?
I'll
There we go. Oh
I,
no, not this one.
I don't know when the next Oceania one is because I know they've been announcing all the other ones, but
Yes.
uh, whenever the next one shows up, we'll probably do so. May as well at this point.
Yeah, that makes a lot
Um,
of sense. They
yeah,
did have something somewhere. I just need to figure out where it was.
yeah,
Uh, not this one. Oh no, that's Spiritual. What is it? Grand Grassroots. There we go. Because I remember if I clicked over here and then I went down here and then I went on the Oceania circuit,
yeah.
we would find. Oh no, there isn't any interesting. Only
Yeah, it
the
hasn't been announced yet because
hasn't been
otherwise I
announced.
think it gets.
Okay,
Yeah, it would have been posted otherwise, I think. But otherwise, yeah.
yeah, because I
No,
did see in the North America one there was like one every month kind of thing.
yes, they've also announced their second one as well. So well,
Uh,
we'll see it.
yeah, so, oh,
We'll probably get ours soon enough as well because they haven't also announced the European one either. So I guess it's all slow building.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah,
do this real quick because you did mention a couple of calls. Hold on. I
yeah.
just want to do them just have an idea of what we were just to have an idea of what we're talking about. Just give this a
Yes.
thought because
Uh,
we need this later. It's
yeah. I mean,
no
but
burn no okay burn facade does 50% to 64 on a Titar.
yeah, yeah. Turn that burn off.
Yeah, turning the burn off it becomes
And
an
you
18.
like you can tear the Tyranitar so it's not the rock resisted, and
Yeah,
you'll see facade still does next to whatever.
yeah, it does like 30. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
it does like 30 to 43%.
yeah. To me, that was nothing because it's like okay, cool.
It's like
It's like
70.
that's paper.
Yeah, because once you get a burn in, I think it just kills, right? Yeah, it
Yes,
just outright kills. No,
if I
no.
tear it and it goes for facade, it burns, but I never let it get its burn off,
hmm
so it wasn't able to have the impact as it had. So I was so happy that I prepared, or I was more prepared for the Ursaluna matchup because I always remember that was always the one mon I always had trouble with many
Yeah.
iterations, and Sinister was good, but then having this Clefable on top, like
hmm
with the Misty Terrain stuff, it just completely nullified. Well, not completely, but it made the matchup so much more playable and easier to manage
That makes sense.
because it couldn't do the damage output it wanted to. And with Headlong Rush, it's now weakening its defenses, which makes it easier to just to knock out, really.
hmm Yeah, that
Yeah.
does make sense. Now let me check the plus two aura sphere onto the Titar.
Yeah.
Because
Like
that's
it was plus one
plus
aura
one
sphere.
plus one aura sphere.
Even
Okay,
even if it was modest, even if it was modest, not that I don't know if they did, but it's like
like
with
just
the
to give an
spread I
idea, for
had,
you to live a timid, like a max special attack timid, all you need is 76 HP, full stop.
yeah,
Assault vest 76 HP. You live plus one timid, and then like if they're going modest, you need like a little bit of spadef and some
no,
HP, but
yeah,
at
I was
like
just look, yeah, you just need a bit of spadef, and I'm just looking at this. It's like Well, 99%, that's not a kill.
Yeah,
So
like
it still lives. It still lives a modest +1 with the spread I had. So
yeah, like if you go 172 HP and 28 speed F, you just guarantee live it
yeah,
for modest plus O, which is crazy to
yep,
me.
yep. So Como kind of, yeesh.
Yeah, a bit of a fraud, a bit of a fraud.
Yeah, just a tiny bit, really.
We need to start considering like those ones that you're supposed to do. You are +1, you're doing quad super effective damage, and you don't kill.
Yep. It's actually fun. I'm just learning right now, like just a simple body press without like any boost, just beats the T-tar. But it's like obviously you're not doing body press with the Clanger of Soul set.
Mhm.
So there we
Yeah.
have it. Really,
Eh. All right.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming hanging out today.
Oh,
I
it's
really
all good.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having.
Um, uh, and yeah, thanks a lot for coming hanging out. Make sure that you like, subscribe to the channel. Do we have any social media?
I guess for the most part, just the Twitter, Bahamate 8. That I don't post much or anything at all. I'm mostly just lurking, but say hi. I guess if you want to say hi. Otherwise, yeah.
All right. Anyway, all right. Then thanks a lot for
Then
coming around, and we'll catch you next time.
till the next time.
Peace.